This week in CIST 2531, we'll look at Chapter 3. This chapter is going to give an overview of creating shapes. By the end of the lesson, you should have a better understanding of what types of shapes you can create, and also understand the ins and outs of the live shapes. You also leave with an understanding of how to trace raster images and create vector content. Some of the things we're going to look at is how we create shapes. We're going to look at some of the properties of those shapes, placing an item in to your image. We'll start off by looking at basic shapes. First, you see on the screen, this is your completed project. We'll be working with this lemon and also your starting document as well. We're going to start by looking at how to create shapes. First, you would notice that your smart guides are going to be turned on by default. Okay, so these are something you will turn them on and off throughout the section. If you turn to page 87 on section 1, that's where they're going to show you where they are introduced using the measurements. First, let's look at creating a shape. So I'm going to use this screen here for my shapes. If you come over to your toolbar, you'll see that you do have different tools that you can use to create shapes. So you can create a rectangle, ellipse, polygon, star. I'm going to start off by using the rectangle. When I just click and drag, you'll see that the rectangle is being created. You also see the width and height of the rectangle as I am drawing this. Now, once I've drawn my shape, I do have some options in this. For example, coming to the corner, I can adjust this anchor point. You see I can adjust the corners, the roundness of the rectangle. In the middle, I have the option to move it to place this in a new location. On the outside corner, on the corners, I give the options to resize the rectangle. Also, when I have my mouse pointer as the double-headed circle, I can rotate the rectangle. Also in the middle, I can resize up and down or left and right, depending on the anchor point, the fill handle I've used. To the right in the properties, I can also adjust the height, width, and the X and Y coordinates. You also see that I have this locked right now, so the height and width stays proportional. Or I have it locked now, excuse me. So now that it will adjust and stay proportional. When I turn this off, I can adjust the height and width individually. Under appearances, I can choose the fill color. I do have swatches, or I can choose from the color mixer. I'm just going to leave it on swatches to choose fill color. The stroke, I can set the stroke color, and also the size of the stroke. I can also change the opacity of my shape. I do have other special effects I can apply to this as well. And then I have my alignment as well, that I can align the shape to the screen with this as well. Now with the selection tool selected, once again I can adjust this. If I have the actual tool selected, and if I just double click onto the screen, you'll see that I have this rectangle box that will appear. This is where I can create the rectangle based on the height and width, so I can type in a specific value if I want it to be For example, I want it a 10 by 5 rectangle. You'll notice that as I do this, this is adjusted because it is locked right now. So when I adjust the width or the height, the other one will adjust as well. If I want to set a specific one, I need to make sure I turn the aspect ratio off, and then I can adjust and set this individually. Same principles with the other shapes. With these, you will have different options. Okay, so in this case, we have the same one for the ellipse. The polygon, you'll have the radius and the number of sides that you want to create. The star tool is going to give you 2 radius options and the number of points for this. When you create star, once again, these are something you can edit. You can resize, you can rotate. You have properties for all of these tools that you can set over here as well. You also have a line segment tool. Okay, so you can use this. You can draw lines. So you can use this to draw different shapes using the lines. So throughout the lesson, you'll be drawing different shapes. You'll be editing the sizes. You'll be changing the fill colors, different properties, the alignments. All right, so one of the things I want to go over here is using the place. So in here, we're going to go to File and come down to Place. Now I'm going to use the lemon file. So when I select this, you'll see now that I have it selected and I can choose where to place it in my image. Actually, I want to put it on this one here. So we use the place command, choose lemon, and then place the lemon. Now I'm going to use the image trace to convert these raster images to editable vector art. So I'm going to come over to the properties and choose image trace with this selected. Okay, so I've got different options down here. So let's look at high fidelity photo. All right, and you'll see this change as we do this. Low fidelity. You'll see that it does change a little bit more. Choose black and white logo. 3 colors. So as you see, you can trace the image and change this to something other than the original artwork. And some of these options work better with different images than they do others. With the sketch start. So we'll change it back to the low fidelity photo. Some of these, if you want just a silhouette, you can do that as well. And as you go through your chapter, you will have different settings that you will place in the image as well. You do have some image trace properties that you can set, and you'll come through here and set as well. You also have some more advanced properties that you'll be working with throughout the chapter as well. So you have some auto color, high color presets, low colors. So there's different presets that you can use to change your image. So using the advanced, for example, the path on this one, threshold you will set to 206. The path you're going to set to 20%. Borders will be 50. Noise will be set to 100. You also have some quick actions you can choose that you'll be working with as well. We're going to ungroup this. So we'll clean up this. So, this area up here we're not really wanting. So we can click that and delete that and remove that part of the artwork. We will look at some different drawing modes throughout this chapter as well. You'll look at draw normal mode, draw behind mode, draw inside mode. Those will be found over in the tools, the different drawing modes. Every document you start off with is going to start with a draw normal mode. That's going to be the default. And that stacks shapes on top of each other. The draw inside mode, it's basically you're going to create a clipping mask and have it work similar to a clipping mask. The draw behind mode is going to allow you to draw behind all the artwork on the selected layer. If no artwork is selected. If you have artwork selected, the new object is going to draw directly beneath the selected object. So throughout the chapter, you will use the draw inside mode to work with the draw behind mode as well. And once you're finished with the chapter, again, your artwork will look like this. So throughout this chapter, you will be drawing with different shapes. You will be drawing different shapes. Throughout this, you're using different properties, different settings. In this area, you will use the place, and you will use the converting your image. And you will also be using the different draw modes.